Yeah, so I was just looking around a little in regards to the border, in regards to what was happening in regards to the border at the moment. And the first one is from routers or whatever they're called. Although because of I have rejecting advertising, I'm not allowed to go into it. But pressure on Gaza border alarms Egypt as strikes close. Dot dot dot. Egypt is moving to prevent a mass exodus from the Gaza Strip into its Sinai Peninsula as Israeli bombardments halted crossing at the main dot dot dot. But that's the exact opposite of what they should do. So the question is, who do you think Egypt is really friends with? They want this conflict. Clearly, if they're not going to open their borders, if they're actually going to do the exact opposite, that you have an exodus that wants, an exodus out of Gaza, that people actually want to leave, and Egypt are preventing it. They're doing the exact opposite of what they should do. So that shows the works of the Egyptians. Egypt indefinitely closes Rafah border with Gaza. It's the exact opposite of what they should do. What the Egyptians should do is to open up, open totally up for anyone who wants to flee. Isn't that interesting that Egypt would not do that? That Egypt actually does the opposite? Maybe because they actually want the conflict between Israel and those people in Gaza and the West Bank and all that. But in regards of Gaza, that's pretty much the primary thing in regards of Egypt. Isn't it interesting that Egypt wouldn't want to help? Uh so why has Egypt closed its border with Gaza? That's 7 hours ago. Isn't that interesting? It's like when did I wrote the emails to the Egyptian embassy in Denmark, and I wrote also to Egypt themselves and all that. And what are they doing? The exact opposite. The closures of the crossing followed a stern warning on Monday night from Egypt against what is called an attempt to force Palestinians in the Gaza Strip into Sinai in a mass movement to escape the shelling and airstrikes. You gotta be kidding me. Yeah, that's if that's what the Egyptians if that's what they're going to say, well, if they don't want to say, I was telling them, hey, you have a possibility of saving a huge amount of lives, but they don't want to do that. It's not the Israelis you should blame for these. You know, it's the Egyptians. The Egyptians could open up their borders and they could let these people flee. What are the Egyptians going to do? The exact opposite. It's disgusting. I think a lot of I think I think a good idea would actually to stop trade with Egypt. If Egypt is not going to help on the things, why trade with them? This is just disgusting. This just shows that wicked works. Um, oh, but Israelis are trying to make an exodus into Egypt. Well, why won't you take these people? It's your people that is in Gaza. Saudi Arabia, it's your people that is in Gaza. And in regards to the two-state solution, you have Jordan. Go to Jordan, okay? You want a two-state solution? It's already there. It's called Jordan. Move to Jordan, okay? All those who wants a two-state solution, it's already there. It's called Jordan. So don't give me the bullshit. Um, that's disgusting. Let's see here. Seems to have Israeli airstrikes and artillery shelling hits the area of Rafah border crossing between Egypt and the Gaza Strip. This is from the 10th of October. Okay, this is today, I guess. And the Gaza Strip on Tuesday, disrupting operations at the only exit point on Gaza's southern border. Egyptian security officials said. Okay. So the Egyptian security officials, that's plural, said that the Israeli are hitting the border crossing, all that. I'm not sure why they would do that, but Anyway, so but let's see. Egypt, meanwhile, has urged Israel to open humanitarian corridors for the Strip's 2.3 million people to escape the bombardment, said to be the heaviest in 75 years since Israel conflict with the Palestinians began. Fake Palestinians. Hello, Egypt. Open up your borders. Let those people, just open them up. Just totally open your borders up. Just let these people move out, okay? Why should the Israelis open up their borders to have more killings and butchering and slaughter of these people who hate the Israelites? You gotta be kidding me. Open up your borders, Egypt, and let those people leave Gaza. Let Israel get that land, so we won't have any more conflict on that piece of land anymore. That would be nice, wouldn't it? No more killings, no more death, and all that. But yeah, I guess you people want to have this perpetual thing going where we kill people, murder people, and all that. That's so disgusting. Let's see here. Israel on Monday announced a total blockade of the Gaza Strip. The bombardments on Tuesday came a day after explosions close to the crossing on the Gaza side forced Egyptian authorities to suspend operations, according to the officials. Three other crossings along Egypt's borders with the Gaza Strip and Israel have been closed for security reasons, says the officials. Doesn't it just smells like like three other crossings along the Egypt's borders with Gaza Strip and Israel have been closed for security reasons, said the officials. Oh, for security reasons. What kinds of oh, we don't want these people in Gaza to move out because we actually like them having this thorn in the we actually love this conflict. Actually, it's Egypt that, as far as I can see, that Egypt is just a bullshit. They're just totally bullshit. It's evil, absolutely evil. How can the Egyptians just allow this? Those people being killed in Gaza it ends up in on the Egyptians' head, because the Egyptians could do something. They could very easily do something. Open up the borders. But you're going to blame the Israelites for that? You know that, Authorities have meanwhile stepped up patrols along Egypt borders with Gaza and Israel to prevent any infiltrations by militants into Israel. Um, Troops deployed in the area have been placed on high alert and given permission to use deadly force against suspicious movements by anyone who approaches. The disruption of traffic at the Rafah crossing and the closure of others comes as Israeli warplanes and artillery pummel Gaza in retaliation for Saturday's bloody incursion into southern Israel by militants from Gaza that left around 1,600 killed from both sides. The number goes up and up and up. I think the last I heard in regards to Israeli number was a thousand, over 1,000. So let's see here. The surprise attack has been recognized as Israel's bloodiest day since Egyptian and Syrian forces launched a surprise attack against the Israeli army 50 years ago. Rafah is the only crossing point into Egypt's Sinai Peninsula for Gaza residents. The rest of the Mediterranean Strip is surrounded by Israel and the sea. The officials said access to the Rafah crossing for registered travelers and humanitarian work had been restored by Tuesday morning. Like, why not just let those people in Gaza move into this place, this huge, gigantic place that the Egyptians have, right? Because it was handed back by the Israelis, to Egypt for peace. You have this huge amount of area, you could let these people just flee away from this area and you could take upon yourself to, humanitarian aid and whatnot and help these people and all that. If you really want to help them, if you really, really want to help them, Egypt, but I guess you don't. Prior to Monday closure, about 800 people left Gaza through the Rafah crossing and about 500 people injured through the crossing was closed for the movement of goods, according to the report by Reuters. Or yeah, I can't even Reuters. Readers, Reuters. I can't. I can't even say it. The other crossings closed by Egyptian authorities along the border with Israel and Gaza are Tabar on the northern tip of the Red Gulfs, Sea Gulfs of Aqaba, which is mostly used by Israeli holidaymakers visiting the sandy beaches and pristine blue waters of resorts in southern Sinai, including Dahab and Swarm el Sheikh, or something like that. The others are commercial border post of Karam Abu Salam, or Salem, which lies where Gaza, Egypt, and Israel meet, and Al Uqa on the Egyptian Israeli border. The closure of the crossings followed a stern warning on Monday night from Egypt against what it called attempts to force so-called Palestinians, Philistinians, in the Gaza Strip into Sinai in a mass movement to escape the shelling and airstrike. What in the world? You Egyptians don't want to save those people in Gaza? Oh, you want to further commit mass. You want to have those Israelis kill those people, right? And make a lot of conflict, right? You don't actually want to save anyone. I think Egypt is so evil, so disgusting, so ooh. I don't have words for it. Egypt, you're disgusting. Absolute disgusting. I even sent you some mails, right? And what do? You do the exact opposite. You do the exact opposite of what should have been done. You could have saved so many lives, and there would be a lot of lives that will be lost. You could have saved it. You, Egypt, could have saved them if you had opened your border for these people. So those people that don't want to be partaking in this madness and all that could have gone to you and gotten some help. What do you want to do? You want to close the border. You want to, keep those people inside the place, right? Disgusting, evil, filthy. Ew, That is just disgusting. Egypt, smell to the nose. The closures of the crossings followed the stern warning on Monday night from Egypt against what it called attempt to force Philistinians. But anyway, Palestinians in the Gaza Strip into Sinai in a mass movement to escape the shelling and airstrike. I guess in regards to what they call Sinai, it's actually not the Sinai, but I guess it's talking about the area that Egypt has, I guess. But in regards to the mountain and all that, that's actually in Saudi Arabia. But anyway. Oh, I guess it was just too awful for you Egyptians to do some goodness in this world, right? You had the chance. You have this amazing chance to look like the savior and, to be the good guy and save all these people and all that could come over and all that. And what do? You give the middle finger for all these people in Gaza. All those people, all those children, all those people that just want to flee, you give them the middle finger. That's what you do. Evil, evil, evil. I don't know. No, it's disgusting. That's interesting. When did I actually wrote those emails to? I guess I don't know. You know, I guess no one. Just give me a break. It's the exact opposite. Exact opposite of what they should do. Again, that shows how much a friend Egypt really is in regards of Israel. We don't want those people from Gaza into our nation. Why not? Why not? Because you want the conflict to continue and more mass murders and all that. Oh, like you can't blame Israel for that. Why would Israel not open the borders? Well, because they would have a lot of mass murders and all that. Because Mohammedans tend to hate the Jews. Okay, so what is the best choice here? Move them to Egypt. Open the borders at Egypt It's Egypt that is at fault here, you know. Egypt should open up their borders. They should take them because how you go. Oh, you think the Israelites could just open up their borders without any conflict in regards of you know give me a break. We've seen too much of this nonsense going on for so many years. These people in Gaza need to move, need to go, go another place. Yeah. And you could easily have taken them. You have this huge area, right? And you could take all the humanitarian aid and all of that, and these people could be helped on your soil, right? On your controlled Egyptian soil. And then let Israel take Gaza over, and that's a chapter in history, or would be a chapter in history. But no, 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 no. We want to go on and have more conflict, and because that's apparently so funny to have people murdered and killed and all that. Why live in a world without that, right? That's disgusting. Egypt, you disgust me. You do the direct opposite of what you could have done. As direct opposite. The closure of the crossings for I need to copy this. I'll just fix it on my gap. This is just disgusting. The exact opposite of what oh my the exact opposite way to go here. Disgusting evil nation. Evil filthy nation. Nation of mass murder. Incredible. They could have done something. Egypt could have done something. They could literally have done something and saved a huge amount of people. And what do they do? The only thing they had to do, open the borders, let these people pass. Oh, we can't have that. We don't want an exodus into our nation, but you want to have the Israelis to do, they want to murder the Jews. The hate is absolutely, you know, so the very, very best option would be to you Egyptians to open the border so they could go to Egypt and Saudi Arabia, or even Jordan if they want a two-state solution. We already have the two-state solution. It's in Jordan. I just give me a break. The closure of the crossings for actually probably should actually also really write the source. Disgusting, absolutely disgusting. Oh, ew, Egypt. Ew, ew. Egypt. Mitzrayim. Bleh. You disgust me. Absolutely disgusting. You could have saved so many lives. So many lives you could save. And you close the borders. It's disgusting. Disgusting. But anyway, no one hears. No, people just want conflict, 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 conflict. Oh, it's disgusting. Um, it's so disgusting. Egypt, just a big turtle. So the closures of the crossings followed a stern warning on Monday night from Egypt against what it called attempt to force Palestinians in the Gaza Strip into. No, actually, let's actually refix this, right? The closures of the crossing followed a stern warning on Monday night from Egypt against what it called attempts to force Egyptians and Saudi Arabians in the Gaza Strip into the Sinai. And the Sinai is not the Sinai. But anyway, in a mass movement, actually, I should actually just say Egypt, right? So the closures of the crossing followed a stern warning on Monday night from Egypt against what it calls attempts to force Egyptians and Saudi Arabians in the Gaza Strip into Egypt in a mass movement to escape the shelling and airstrike. Wouldn't that sound a lot better, pretty much? It seems to be, yeah, that's kind of what, as far as I can see, is going on. And they don't want to take their own. I can't remember. I think it was around 50% that was Egyptians and 50% that was Saudi Arabians. Sadly, I don't have that video. I might have linked to the video many years ago where one of these Gaza or Hamas leaders or whatever, in regards of was complaining to the Egyptians and Saudi Arabians for not helping them enough and telling that they were, that they were Egyptians and Saudi Arabians, those in Gaza. And I was like, well, okay, move back, move back to Egypt and move back to Saudi Arabia, or go to Jordan. Go away from Israel. We don't want your lies anymore. We don't want your deceptions. And in regards to this, occupation that you call it as no occupation. You go read the Bible and you tell me that it's an occupation. How much of the Bible is in the land of Israel? Okay, just stop bullshitting around. We see things, Israeli things being digged up every single day nearly. There's this huge amount of things. Stop with the bullshit and go back to, out, out. We don't want more. We don't want more cursing on the Jews. We don't want more strikes on them and killing them and all that. It's disgusting. It's vile. It's evil, and it's just not no go. Anyway, mourners on Tuesday doing the funeral of the Palestinians killed in Israeli strikes in Khan Yunis in the southern Gaza Strip. And as again, right, Egypt have the chance. Egypt have the chance to open up their borders and let these people out. If Egypt actually already understand, and I don't know, maybe they read my emails and thought, let's do the exact opposite. I don't know. Maybe they didn't read. Maybe actually they already understand the situation. Of course, in regards to what they want. But they are actually, they're doing the exact opposite, in regards to what I wrote to them. Now they have a chance, right? They have a chance to do something good, right? To open up the borders, to let these people, tell those people in Gaza, come over, come over, come over. If you want to come over, before you're going to, before they're going to get killed by Israelis, in regards to the bombardments and all that. They had the possibility of opening up the borders. It's disgusting, filthy, vile of the Egyptians, Yeah, the Egyptians have this whole line, right? They could just open it up. And what do? Oh, let's close it off, Let's have those, let's let those people being bombarded and all that by Israel. Who cares about them, right? Disgusting. Absolutely disgusting. You disgust me, Egypt. I don't have, I think I just, yeah. Egypt is just like a turd, stinking turd by a dog, a dog turd. It's just, Egypt reminds me of a dog turd, that's what Egypt reminds me of, That's as far as I can get at the moment, But, it's disgusting, filthy, So, just think about how many could be saved, if Egypt just opened up the borders. Oh, we don't want, either Israelis are making the exodus and all that. Yeah, so what? So what? So what? Let them do it. Move these people out. Oh, you don't want that. Oh, you want the conflict to go on, right? Yeah. Let's see here what it says. Quoting unnamed Egyptian sources, the statement emphasized the dangers of calls for mass population movement that will empty the Gaza Strip and liquidate the Palestinian issue itself. Moreover, Egyptian sovereignty is not fair game. So, quoting unnamed Egyptian sources, the statement emphasizes the danger of calls for mass population movement that will empty the Gaza Strip, liquidate the Palestinian issue itself. Moreover, Egyptian sovereignty is not fair game. I don't know. It sounds like they've written my letters, but they wanted to do the opposite. I don't know. Maybe not. But it just you give me a break. Um, but they choose if they choose the other direction, you know, I just disgusting. This is just disgusting. I can't believe it. I can't believe that they would actually, you know, having the possibility of saving lives, they now go in the opposite direction. Let's see if I can find my email. This was this was written. This is written in Danish. It was written Monday 0051. So that was be on the beginning of the day, and I wrote another one Monday 018. Monday 0108. This is what I wrote to them in the English one. I also wrote to the embassy in Denmark, um, but the Danish one is Danish, right? So you can't understand that. Okay, I wrote to Egyptian feedback government, sys.government.egypt, EGR. Please save lives. Dear people of Egypt, please open your borders for the people of Gaza right away. You can save a lot of people right now as more destruction is incoming from Israel. Let those who want to flee Gaza flee through your borders, away from the conflict into safety. You can save a lot of lives at this very moment of time, and these people belong to Egypt and Saudi Arabia anyway. It would be for the best if Gaza was emptied and that your nation, with Saudi Arabia and others, could take all the people of Gaza upon you and let Gaza be part of Israel. This is the only way to solve the conflict overall. But for the moment, at this very time, you can save a lot of people by just opening up your borders for those who want to flee Gaza, to get away from destruction and death, a safe haven for people. Might be able to make a deal with Israel for help on that, but in any case, you have the possibility of saving a lot of lives. Um, Possible of saving a lot of people, getting people out of Gaza while Israel is striking the area, and further give them a possibility of a better life than being in a barrel of dynamite. This might also give you a good amount of credit score bonus with the rest of the world and a further good relationship with Israel. Egypt would be seen as a hero saving lives in a dreadful situation that seemed to have no solution. May Jehovah be with you, Egypt, and I hope to see you open your borders from Gaza to Egypt for fleeing human beings who seriously need your help at this moment. In Christ, Darkijah. And what did they do? According to news and all that, they tend to do the opposite. I also wrote in Danish, but yeah, apparently, I don't know. I don't know if they read the mail or not or anything like that, but clearly they did the opposite. You have to be kidding me. It's like, that's disgusting. When is this article from? Is that from, I wrote this in the beginning of Monday, and this is the. Oh, that's an alarm, apparently. Interesting. I didn't know that was an alarm for 000. Okay. So anyway, so Tuesday. So this article at least is from Tuesday, and it seems like they Israel on. No, that was in regards to the total blockade. But yeah, well, at least they did. Israeli. Or what do you call it? Egypt did the opposite. Um, it's just. Yeah. So that's what was they chose apparently to do the. Yeah, it's just disgusting. Having the possibility to save lives, and what do they do? Oh no, we do the opposite. Yeah. So kind of, yeah. Apparently, apparently, apparently didn't want to listen. One of my little did the opposite thing. Uh, um, they, so yeah, that's interesting. That's disgusting. You could only have hoped that Egypt would actually do the right thing, But yeah, so all those people who die, I think pretty much can be put on Egypt. That's disgusting. They don't. They want to. Just give me a break. Oh yeah, they want to be looked as. But overall, they want this conflict. They're pressuring for They don't want the conflict to end. You can just see how they are working together to just keep this filthy, disgusting thing ongoing. Um, we going to solve the crisis. No, you don't want to solve the crisis. You want this against Israel. You want this conflict against Israel. You love having these people in Gaza make conflict for Israel. That's really the agenda. Because if they didn't, they would open the borders so these people could get out. But they don't want them to get out. So it's just disgusting. Yeah, I'm disappointed. I had hoped for the best. I, you know. mm. So let's see here. Where did we go? Oh, an Exodus. And I also talked to one in Israel and talked about this Exodus and all that. And yeah, apparently, and then I wrote the letters to Egypt. Um, they haven't responded, but of course that doesn't mean they haven't read them. But at least. So, quoting unnamed Egyptian sources, the statement emphasized the dangers of calls for mass population movement that will empty the Gaza Strip and liquidate the Palestinian issue itself. Oh, how bad that would be, right? Like, how bad that would be to actually not have that issue anymore, right? How liquidate, to wind up the fantasy, to kill someone, typical by violence, to yeah, to remove to and liquidate the Philistinian issue itself. And actually, he's saying it. This is a solution, doesn't he? Say it's actually a solution. What does he say? Oh, liquidate the Philistinian issue itself. Because yeah, it is the solution there is. Yeah. Again, who knows? I don't know. But anyway, let me try again. Quoting unnamed Egyptian sources, the statement emphasizes the dangers of calls for mass population movement that will empty the Gaza Strip and liquidate the Palestinian issue itself. Listen to what is being said. The issue would be gone. All those so-called Palestinians, if you remove all those people from the Gaza Strip, the problem vanish away. Wow, and these people could have a better life that was living in the Gaza Strip. But that's not the agenda that they want to do, right? The Egyptians, the Saudi Arabians, the Jordanians, they could all get together and talk to, let's help Israel out. Like, okay, you Egypt, open up your borders. We'll sort out things and all that. And we'll take all these people in regards of moving them to Egypt, to Saudi Arabia, to Jordania, or if there's any other Mohammedan nation they want to go to where they have family and all that, let them go. Okay, they could do that. That's the solution, but they don't want it. But that's the solution. Here we go. That's isn't that interesting? Oh, it was liquidate. Solve. Another word for liquidate is like solve the issue. They want to solve it, and that's the thing, right? That's the, what do you call it, the bare bone truth or whatever. Mhm. um Liquidate. See here. Let me rephrase that. Let me rephrase that. Liquidate with the equal, it would solve the issue and conflict. There we go. It's like, So that's what pretty much what this is and further it goes on again as well, further, fixing. You have to pay attention when people speak and what they, because it's, because of how they you can pick up on what they're really saying. Okay, and liquidate the Palestinian issue itself. So, quoting unnamed Egyptian sources, the statement emphasizes the dangers of calls for mass population movement that will empty the Gaza Strip and solve the issue and the conflict of the Palestinians themselves. Well, that was not totally, quoted, but it's like, so we'll empty the Gaza Strip and liquidate the Palestinian issue itself, right? Yeah, it will solve it. It will solve the issue. That is the solution. That is the solution. And it's not a solution of killing people, it's a solution of life and making life better for both the Israelis and those people living in Gaza. Yeah. And it's even coming from, moreover, Egyptian sovereignty is not fair game. I don't know when regards, moreover, Egyptian sovereignty is not fair game. I don't know what they mean in regards to that. Moreover, Egyptian sovereignty is not fair game. Hmm. I'm not sure what they mean about that, Egyptian sovereignty is not fair game. How is that not fair game? What do you mean in regards to fair game? Um, we have, Israel. It added has a responsible to find humanitarian corridors. It's like, so Egypt wants Israel to find humanitarian corridors, but Egypt don't want to do anything themselves. Actually, they don't want to help at all. They might talk about, oh yeah, help and this and that, and we'll see how we can solve this, but they don't really want to solve it because they already said, according to this. But we have two quotes. I think that's actually more, right? This was see here. The closures of the crossing followed a stern warning on Monday night. So let's see, a Monday night. So the closures of the crossings followed a stern warning on Monday night from Egypt. So that would say, actually, I wrote Monday. So in regards to Monday night, I wonder in regards to the clock when that actually would be. Anyway, it doesn't matter. And it's just disgusting. They wouldn't. I gave them a solution to solve the issue, and clearly it seems like that. Yeah, it actually could be a solution. Oh, we don't want that. No, 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 no. Don't do that. Don't do that. So the closure of the crossings followed a stern warning on Monday night from Egypt against what it called attempts to force Palestinians in the Gaza Strip into Sinai in a mass movement to escape the shelling and airstrike. So here we have the first witness, called an attempt to force, whatever, Hey, Egyptians should say, yeah, come over, come over, come over, save your life, instead of. Okay, the next testimony was in regards to quoting unnamed Egyptian sources. The statement emphasizes the dangers of calls for mass population movement that will empty the Gaza Strip and liquidate the Palestinian issue itself, or the Palestinian issue itself. Moreover, Egyptian sovereignty is not fair game. I still don't understand the last thing in regards to the Egyptian sovereignty is not fair game. I don't know what that is, but anyway. And then it goes further. Israel. Oh, here we. Let's see. Israel. This is a little paragraph later, I guess. Israel, it added, has a responsible to find humanitarian corridors to save the people of Gaza. Oh, so Egyptian, Egypt don't want to help at all. They actually just want to actually be an issue. Yeah, they don't want to be helpful. They actually want to actually make it. Uh, they don't want to save lives. They want to just let these people die. Egypt is part of mass murder. They have a border, and these people are from Egypt and Saudi Arabia anyway. They're pretty close. So, and you have a problem letting them come over? Ah, yeah, okay. Uh, so Israel, it added, has a responsible to find humanitarian corridors to save the people of Gaza. If you Egypt just took these people over, you could figure out something in regards of humanitarian corridors, right? Because now, if you have a huge area, right, just underneath Gaza, right, because Israel actually gave it back to you, right, after you remember that war. Anyway, that you lost, by the way. But you got that back, right, and you have this huge area, right, and you could move all these people could move over, and then people could look into humanitarian corridors, in regards of these people. Anyway, so President Abdel Fattah, I thought these people, as I understood it, was like something about that the guy from Jordan and then the guy from Egypt, and I can't remember in regards to Saudi Arabia, but that they were trying to find solutions and all that. And here I'm trying to send the solution to. I actually tried to also find the thing in regards of Jordan, but anyway, I found some emails to Egypt and all that, and apparently I guess they didn't really want actually any solutions on things. President Abdel Fattah el Sisi appeared to allude to the danger of a mass exodus. Who's this Abdel Fattah el Sisi? Is that an Egyptian guy? Maybe it is. Appeared to allude to a danger of a mass exodus from the Gaza Strip and into Egypt when he spoke to the media in Cairo on Tuesday. And what would be bad about that? You don't want to save lives? You have had the possibility of opening your borders for these people and let them in. But you don't want to save your people. You don't want to save these people. You just want to tell, oh, it's the Israeli issue. It's an Israel. No, it's actually you're taking part in being the issue and not wanting to solve it. You just want to be, an obstacle, as it usually goes, because you don't want to help Israel at all. You just want to do whatever you can yeah, to make Israel struggle. It's disgusting. Absolutely disgusting. How much area do you have? Like, how much desert is there, like, just south of Gaza? How much area is there that that these people could yeah, just it's like huge area, isn't it? Yeah. Um, and in regards to humanitarian aid, all those humanitarian aids could then come into Egypt, right, and help these people and sort out in regards if they're going to Saudi Arabia, if they're going to Jordan, if they're staying in Egypt or another nation, that they have family at. Hmm? Would that be such a bad thing? Because that's the solution. That's the solution, and you said it yourself, and that's the solution. You didn't want the solution, apparently, right? You already said, oh, that's a solution. Oh, the issue of Gaza would be gone. Yeah, that's right, because that is the solution. That is exactly the solution. There we go. Ah. So the question is, now that we know what the solution is, the question is, what works are the Egyptians, the Saudi Arabians, and the Jordanians going to show? Are they going to resist the solution continual? Because we know the solution. We know the solution. Yeah. Okay, so anyway, President Abdel Fattah el Sisi appeared to allude to the danger of a mass exodus from the Gaza Strip and into Egypt when he spoke to the media in Cairo. It's like, reading about, these things. It's like they read my letters. They never wrote back on them, but it seems like they wrote my letter or read my letters at least. I would at least, I don't know if they did, but they're doing the exact opposite of what I wrote. Um, like wow, just it's interesting, isn't it? President Abdel Fattah el-Sisi appeared to allude to the danger of a mass exodus from the Gaza Strip and into Egypt when he spoke to the media in Cairo on Tuesday. Would you kill the people that came from Gaza? Let's say the border would absolutely destroy it. Actually, if the let's say the IDF or Israel, by mistake or whatever, actually ended up destroying the borders or something like that, and those people came through, Egypt, border and all. Would you shoot those people? Would you shoot the people from Gaza if they fled through that? Yeah, I guess I probably, I guess, in regards to Israel, most likely wouldn't do that. I guess actually the people inside Gaza actually could do that themselves, right? If the people inside Gaza actually becomes enough, what do you call it? Because they're sitting in a barrel of what do you call it? Explosion, pretty much, right? What would happen if they actually ended up going through the Egyptian border? Would you have a problem with that? Hmm? Would you Egyptians have a problem? Would you Saudi Arabians have problems with people fleeing away from, your own people? Your own people. Would you have a problem with, Israel tends to like actually go out and get their people by airplane and get them back to Israel when they get persecuted by all these different Mohammedan nations that don't want them and all that. Israel comes to the safety of the Jews, right? It's shouldn't you do the same and come here, come here, you know, and get those people back to Egypt and Saudi Arabia and into Jordania or wherever they want to go to have a better life. Don't you have any compassion for these people? Because you guys are the solution. You guys have the solution. You are the one that are obstructing the solution, and you know it because I can see you know it because it's written multiple times here. You're afraid of an exodus into Egypt, right? Why would you be afraid of Actually, I do actually have one of my. Well, I guess I have some of my sound recordings that I made as well in regards to this Exodus, in regards to the solution and all that. I guess I also have it on my Facebook. It's just this, I don't understand it, in regards to it's the solution, and yet they want to obstruct it. Egypt want to obstruct. How many of the other Mohammedan nations, they don't want to say it, right? They don't want to come out and say, well, we're actually against the solution, right? Because they want the conflict to go on. It's disgusting. I'm so sick and tired of it. It's not like we don't have a solution. It's because there are people standing in the way that don't want the solution. I think it's wonderful to see that actually we already see that Egyptians are actually confessing, oh yeah, we actually have the solution. But we don't want to do it. We don't want to solve Israel's issue. We actually want the issue to continue, right? Um, it's like we don't want to cure the sickness. We want the sickness to continue. And then hope to kill the whole thing, right? Anyway, President Abdel, let's see who this Abdel Fattah el-Sisi is, because apparently he's an evil person who don't want to save people, apparently. Yeah, he's an Egyptian president, apparently, who apparently don't want to save anyone, apparently. Yep, yeah, there he is, there he is. Don't want to solve the issue. The worst thing is that that they know how to solve the issue, right? But they don't want that. They want, they have the possibility. Oh, they rather want to blame Israel. Oh, Israel needs to figure out how to help these people and all. Hello, Egypt. Hmm? But no, no, Egypt don't want to look like, they don't want to be the heroes in this little thing, apparently. Maybe the Mohammedans wouldn't be so positive if they did it. So anyway, President Abdel Fattah el-Sisi appeared to allude to the danger of a mass exodus from the Gaza Strip and into Egypt when he spoke to the media in Cairo on Tuesday. I would love to actually see but apparently, clearly they know, and but apparently they don't want to solve the issue. I just disgust. I can't. It's just disgusting. I just find it so disgusting. We have the solution. The solution is there. If anyone wanna take the solution, if anyone wanna solve the thing, we can solve it right now. We can work together and solve it and have save people. But nah, apparently we rather wanna have people killed. They know. They know the solution. So, but anyway, whatever the case in regards of reading my letter or not, or letters, they at least know the solution. That's for sure. I can see they know the solution. They know it. They know it. They can't run away from it. They know the solution. And that is the solution. It is. Well, it's not the final solution, but it is a solution. And again, using those words, it's a solution, okay? It's a solution of life. It's not like a solution of death, like in regards to the Nazi solution. This is a solution of life to have all these children and these people in Gaza to have a much better life, to have these people under the control of governments like Egypt, Saudi Arabia, Jordanian, and all that, and all that Hamas that can be just, you know, pretty much done away. So um, and they know the solution. They might not, they might use some weird wordings and all that, but clearly they know the solution. And apparently, these Egyptians seems to be afraid of the solution. Let's see when I wrote to one of the Jewish in regards to this. Yeah, that was. Let's see here. Anyway, it's nothing new. The solution has been around for many, many, many years. Just no one is just interested in the solution, and I just need to refresh my brain cells because I was thinking about this many years ago in regards of what can really be done in regards to this. Um, and it's sometimes it can be I can't remember everything. So yeah. Um, Here we go. Here we have something I wrote Saturday, 1502. I wrote, May Jehovah be with you guys and protect you in this assault on your homeland, giving by the living gods to your people. This this thing could easily be sorted out if they wanted. Send back the Mohammedans to Egypt, Saudi Arabia, and even Jordan, and give full control to Israel at Gaza and the West Bank. Sadly, some behind the conflict, or some sadly some behind the scenes want the conflicts to go on, um, and so forward. So yeah, but anyway, the solution is still there, and the more that knows about it, the better, because then they can see through the things of the Egyptians, the Saudi Arabians, the Jordanians, and all that when they don't want to help on the things, right? Which they could. And that's the friends of Israel, right? Or something like that. Anyway, just uh let's see what they so that was number three in a row in regards of information. The last one was the President Abdel Fattah el-Sisi appeared to allude to the danger of a mass exodus from the Gaza Strip into Egypt when he spoke to the media in Cairo on Tuesday, and that's exactly the solution. And yet he don't want to grab the chance to say, hey, the Egyptians should be the ones to say, hey, open arms, come over, come over, come over, get out of Gaza, come over in Egypt, you can, go further into Saudi Arabia if you want, or Jordania and all, we'll come over, we'll help you, and the rest of the world can help with humanitarian aids and all that. And there's a huge amount of space down there, no issue and all that. And have Israel, well, now let Israel take that, again, and make it part of Israel. So, take out, what do you call it, Hamas, get rid of Hamas, take over the area of the Gaza Strip. Apparently, that's what they called it, right? The Gaza Strip. So take over the area of the Gaza Strip. We don't want any more killings. We don't want any more murders and all that. And then let Egypt take those people. But Egypt have to be willing to do something positive. But apparently, they want to do evil. Okay, so let's see here. Next one here. There will be no lenience or squandering of Egypt's national security under any circumstances. The Egyptian people must be aware of the complexity of the situation and realize the magnitude of the threat, he said after attending graduation ceremony for police officers. What does he mean in regards to that? That if you get some of your people back from Gaza, then that will be a security issue? Hmm? Is that what you? I don't know. Like, ooh, here we have some more. Here we go. Here we have Egypt being the bullshitter and evil partner of evil. Anyway, Egypt will not allow the liquidation of the Palestinian question at any expense of the other parties. What do they mean that in regards of they would not allow any from Gaza to come into Egypt, right? It's interesting, right? That's interesting. But the Jews should do it, right? So all those people in Gaza can murder a lot more Jews, right? Do the who has so much hatred, but you don't want them. You don't want to help. You don't want to help Israel. No, you don't, right? That's the truth of it all. So I see. Egypt will not allow the liquidation of the Palestinian question at the expense of other parties. Um, Egypt will not allow the liquidation of the Palestinian question or Philistinian question at the expense of other parties. Do they mean in regards to themselves, or um, it's only Israel that needs to? And then we have like a picture um, of a lot of boats apparently. Okay. Like, think about it. You have a nation that is angry, right? Israel. Israel is angry, and because they have just gotten huge amount of their people murdered, and at one of their biblical festivals, right? And they're angry, and now they're bombing Gaza. Now, what could Egypt then do to be the good guy? Open up the borders. Come on over. Those people who are in Gaza who don't, there's, a lot of people who don't want to be partakers of it, right? They just want to get away. Let them get away. Open the borders and tell those people in Gaza, hey, whoever wants, who do not want to be in there, right? You can have a, one direction move from Gaza into Egypt. Don't expect you to come back to Gaza, okay? Because, but, one way route away from the things, and let's empty this place and let the Israelites take over. Okay, that's the solution. Well, you want it or not, that's the solution. That's the only solution. You don't, the two-state solution is already there. Refer to Jordan, okay? Jordan is the two-state solution. You will only fix small conflict if you don't, if you, it's the solution. It's the solution. And they know it as well. The Egyptian knows it as well. Interestingly enough. At least now they know. So, and apparently they seem to be apparently afraid of this solution. But it's a solution, and they know it's a solution because you can hear it's a solution. They, as said, that my camera is not so I can, but clearly they know it's a solution and they don't like it. But then they know it's a solution. Oh, it will take care of the issue, but we don't want to do that, right? We don't want to help Israel. Now, I don't have the. I can't call those people in Egypt and all, or Jordanian or Saudi Arabia or anything like that. But I try to reach out to at least the Egyptians, and you know, whether they read it or not, at least we can see now that they know the solution is there, and apparently they are afraid of the solution. So, which they should not be. But now they are playing the evil hand here. Let's see. On Tuesday, the Israeli military revised a recommendation by one of its spokesmen that the Palestinians fleeing its airstrike in Gaza Strip head to Egypt. Oh, that was nice. That yeah. On Tuesday, the Israeli military revised the recommendation by one of its spokesmen that the Palestinians fleeing its airstrike and Gaza Strip head to Egypt. Absolutely, that's the way to do it. Just move along. Why wouldn't you want to help Israel, Egypt? If you don't have enough land to, and you don't want to help these people. Hmm? These people not hating Egyptians, right? They're hating Jews. Okay. What about giving the Jews a helping hand? I think the Jews or the Israeli military are absolutely in good order if they actually have recommended that the Philistinians flee to Egypt. That's the only way. That's the way to do it. Let's see here. Yep. Let's see. Revise the recommendation. Yep. That's the way to do it. That's um revised. Let's see a meaning. So, having been altered or corrected, having been reconsidered and amended. So so you already have the Israeli actually helping you that, hey, pointing to you guys, you Egyptians, you have the hand to play, the good hand. You have the possibility of helping these people. It's pretty much, it's a free thing for you guys to play the good guys here, to play the right, to do the right thing. Are you going to let these people die? You could open up your borders, and you want to do the other way around. Um, yeah, it's just. On Tuesday, the Israeli military revised a recommendation by one of its spokesmen that Palestinians fleeing its airstrike in Gaza head to Egypt. So I'm not sure in regards to how that revised. So the Israeli military revised the recommendation by one of its spokesmen that the Palestinians fleeing its airstrike strikes in the Gaza Strip hit to Egypt. Not sure if they actually, did they change it to something else, or did they revise it to that? Or let's see here. Let's read a little further in another paragraph. Briefing foreign reporters, Colonel Richard Hicht initially said he would advise Palestinian refugees to get out. So, briefing foreign reporters, Colonel Richard Hecht initially said he would advise Palestinian refugees to get out through the Rafah crossing on Gaza's southern border with Egypt. I think that actually would be a very, a very good advice. It's like if Egypt is going to play, if Egypt is just going to close up the borders as it seems, now, like you are then just you are then like you're giving the middle finger for all these for all these people. Israel is angry, like they've just had a huge mass murder of their people, and they advise these people in Gaza to, move, down through Egypt, and you want to stop that, and you want to block that, you want to be the cause for um his office later issued a statement saying clarification: the Rafah crossing was open yesterday, but now it is closed. Okay, so they started out actually telling them on apparently on so apparently it seems like it must have been at least before Tuesday. They actually had advised that people could go through the Rafah crossing on Gaza's southern border with Egypt. And his office later issued a statement saying clarification: the Rafah crossing was open yesterday, but now it's closed. And who closed it? Huh? Egypt? Who closed it? Egypt. Who is now the problem here? Um, so the Egyptian statement was issued hours before the comments made by Lieutenant Colonel Hector, whatever, I can't remember. Um, Egypt has in the past expressed alarm that Israel was considering resettling Gaza's Palestinians in the sparsely populated Sinai. Oh, wait, are you saying that there's not that many people in the Sinai, which is not really the Sinai, but I guess they call it the Sinai, but anyway, and those of the West Bank in Jordan? Oh, sounds like a good idea that those Israelis have, so we can stop the conflict, right? So, again, Egypt has in the past expressed alarm that Israel was considering resettling Gaza's Palestinians in the sparsely populated Sinai and those of the West Bank in Jordan. Any problem with that? You have any problem with that, Egypt? I think that sounds like a pretty good idea, and I think it actually is the only solution that will make at least some peace. It won't take all the air out of the balloon, but it will take some of it. So you don't want peace, Egypt? You don't want to help these people? You want to keep them in the explosive, you know? Egypt became the first Arab nation to sign a peace treaty with Israel in 1979. That was after the war, wasn't it? And you got back the whole peninsulan. Yeah, isn't that actually another bit of word for it? The peninsulan, not the Sinai. Anyway, 4 decades later, its relationship with its neighbor were described as a cold peace. However, that has changed in the past decade, with both countries now coordinating counterterrorism efforts and those against human trafficking into Israel. But Egypt don't want to open its borders. Okay, yeah, okay. Egypt has in the past mediated truces between Israel and Hamas, the last of which was in 2021. Egypt has also tirelessly championed the two-state solution. Oh, give me a break with the bullshit. There's no two-state solution, and it won't ever work. The only solution is to take those people inside Egypt and further. We already have gone, and they know the solution is there. The two-state solution is already there in Jordan. If you want a two-state solution, you go to Jordan. That's your two-state solution. Israel and Jordan, two states, right? Two-state solution. So Egypt has in the past mediated truces between Israel and Hamas, the last of which was in 2021. Egypt has also tirelessly championed the two-state solution for the Israeli-Palestinian conflict that would allow the creation of an independent Palestinian state on the Gaza Strip and the occupied West Bank. Don't even go that route. It won't work. If you want more conflict, that's the direction you want to go. If you want more conflict, it's already been tried. You already have Gaza, right? They handed over Gaza, right? What did they get out of that? Lots of rockets. Yeah. What do you think would you if they have a fully West Bank and Gaza? What do you think will happen? Oh, could be like missiles all over and all that. You gotta be kidding me. That's not going to happen. If you want more destruction and death and murder and all that, then that's the solution you want to go for. So what the Egyptians are promoting are just more destruction. So that's their agenda. Maybe I shouldn't have sent those emails to them. Um, I don't know. I thought they would. Yeah, they had the possibility of doing good. But apparently not. Apparently not. Maybe I'm just apparently too naive in regards to that. But again, what would happen if someone bombed and all those people of Gaza could all of a sudden move into Egypt without any issue? Would the Egyptian army shoot them down? If these fleeing people that are needing help, would the Egyptian army shoot them down and kill them, murder them? And that's a good question, isn't it? Yeah, that's a good question. So, Egypt has in the past mediated truces between Israel and Hamas, the last of which was in 2021. Egypt has also tirelessly championed the two-state solution for the Israeli-Palestinian conflict that would allow the creation of an independent Palestinian state on the Gaza Strip and the occupied West Bank. See, and again, they use the the words occupied. Who's occupying who? Who's occupying who? It's Israel. It's not so-called Palestine. Okay. Because it was the Romans that gave the name Palestina to that area, because the Jews rebelled against the Romans and so forward. Um, so, and the so-called Palestinians are not Palestinians. Okay, they're Philistinians. Okay, it is the path to realizing real and sustained security for the Philistinian people, he said. Its effort to mediate a truce to end the current fighting are believed to be making little headway, with both sides seemingly unwilling to negotiate for now. Well, I guess I could try to write them again and ask them again to open the borders, but I don't think they will. I don't think the voice will have any. Um, I think about it. If they had opened the borders, they could, many of these people that could flee. Um, yeah, well, I can try to write to them again and see if that. I don't think it will help. Um, yep. Anyway, so let's try to write another letter to them and see, because they could save so many people. Anyway, take care, all of you. May Jehovah be with you, and ye your most precious pearl, and the spirit of truth be in us all. Amen. Have a good one.